Rain hammered the clay roof of Millbrook Village the night old David Cooper lost everything to a single coin. David had spent 40 years shaping pots by hand. His clay bowls fed weddings. His water jugs cooled 100 homes. But that year a drought cracked the riverbed, and no one bought pots when there was no water to fill them. His savings, kept in a rusted tin box, dwindled to 11 coins. His son Robert had left for the city 3 years ago, promising to send money. None came. David told himself the city was hard on newcomers. He never blamed the boy. One evening, a merchant named Alexander arrived on a horse cart, dressed finer than anyone in the village had ever seen. He said he bought old pottery for city collectors, and he wanted David's entire stock, including the cracked clay urn sitting untouched in the corner, the one David's father had left him. 50 coins for everything, Alexander said, including that ugly urn. 50 coins was more than David had seen in 5 years, but something in Alexander's eyes lingered too long on the urn. David had learned over decades of trading that a man's eyes tell you what his mouth won't. Everything except the urn, David said. That one is not for sale. Alexander raised the price. 60 coins, 80. David still refused. Frustrated, Alexander left in the rain, muttering that the old man was a fool. That night, curiosity ate at David like termites in old wood. He took a hammer to the urn's sealed base, something he had never dared to do out of respect for his father's memory. Inside, wrapped in oilcloth to protect it from moisture, were deeds to 3 plots of farmland outside the village, untouched and unclaimed for over 20 years, along with a letter in his father's handwriting. The letter explained that his father had bought the land cheaply during a famine, when everyone else was selling out of panic, believing the soil was cursed. He held on to it in silence, waiting for a season when people would need land more than money. He never got the chance to reclaim it himself. The next morning he walked to the district office, verified the deeds, and discovered the drought had made that same land incredibly valuable. The plot sat directly above an untapped underground spring the government was searching for to build a new irrigation canal. Word spread fast. Alexander returned within a week, this time offering an absurd sum for the land itself, revealing he had somehow learned of the spring beforehand and had hoped to buy the urn cheaply, break it apart privately, and claim the land before anyone noticed. But David was no longer the desperate old man from the rainy night. He sold the land instead to the village council at a fair price, insisting the canal be built for every farmer's benefit, not just his own profit. The money he received was enough to rebuild his son's future, restart his pottery house, and support the village through the next 3 droughts. Robert returned home when he heard the news, ashamed of his long silence, only to find his father waiting without anger, only open arms. David lived his remaining years not as the richest man in the village, but as the most trusted one, the man who once refused 80 coins because his instincts whispered that some treasures are hidden precisely to protect them from those who would misuse them. To get more, like, comment, and share.